Thank you everyone for joining me today. This is Marilyn Gale. Guys, I am bringing something to you because I'm asking something of you. I don't know this family. I've seen them on TV, and I'm speaking about Dog the Bounty Hunter. His real name is Duane Chapman. His wife, Beth Chapman, is in a medically induced coma. Now, Beth Chapman was diagnosed with throat cancer stage 2 in September 2017. 2 months later, it was reported that she was cancer-free and that cancer was completely removed. Then it was reported that the cancer returned last year in November, and she went to have an emergency surgery, and then now in April, it looks like she's been back in the hospital. Now, Duane Chapman has asked everyone to please pray for Beth right now. And even in reading that article, I do sense that it's a sense of urgency. So they are saying that this is very serious. Let me give you a little background with Beth and Dog, Duane. They had an A&E reality show, Dog the Bounty Hunter, for about 8 seasons. He was followed across the country with their team and his wife Beth, and the team was called the Dirty Dozen. And what they did is they went across the country using Dog's list of pursuing the most wanted fugitives. Now, I watched it a few times, and it's just like one of those, hunting down the criminal, like a detective or police story. So it was entertaining. And it got to let you know, it showed a little bit about, it showed their family, it showed their friends, it showed the team, expert professional teams that they worked with in pursuing these criminals. So that's just a little background. But getting back to Beth, the cancer came back, and it looks like it spread to her lungs. And it was reported that almost 4 liters of liquid was drained from her lungs, of fluid was drained from her lungs. Dog says that he cries all the time. He prays a lot. Anywhere he goes, everywhere he goes, he's praying. He's constantly asking God to heal his wife. He tells God he's going to try to stop smoking and cursing. And he says he's a sinner. What a thing to admit. How humble is that? What I hear is a man who loves his wife, and a man who knows God can heal his wife. To me, he is being very humble and knows that God has the power to restore his wife's health. Now, right now, his heart is open to receive any word God has for him. I'm personally asking God to restore his wife's health and reveal himself to the Chapman family. Not many people, I look at him. He looks like, he's a man's man. He's strong. He's not going to admit to certain things, but I am seeing a vulnerability with him. I am seeing such a humbleness in him. His wife talks about, I think she refused chemotherapy, if I'm not mistaken. Whether she decided to get it, I'm not sure about that. But she says this is like a test to her faith. And it sounds like, in reading the articles and just reading different articles, people.com, different articles, that they now have a home church. And I shouldn't say they now have. I don't know how long they've been going to church. And a lot of people don't go to church. A lot of people don't believe, what I believe. And that's okay. Sometimes we all get revelations, and sometimes, people just, choose to believe what they want to believe. And I'm not knocking whether you believe or not. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. I believe that God can do all things. I believe that God is hearing uh, Duane's prayer, because he has humbled himself. He has admitted he's a sinner, and we all sin. We just have different sins. So, just cause I have a sin and I have a different sin from you, I'm not going to dog you out or drag you through the mud because your sin is different from mine. Um, uh, it's certain people, though, it's hard to, it's hard to associate their sin with me, because, it's way out there sometimes, but, that's for me to get over. But, anyway, I just feel inclined to just do what Dog is asking. And that is to pray for his wife, to pray for her healing. And I'm going to do that. I don't know these people. I don't know these people. I mean, we have seen different people on TV, and how they're portrayed, and a lot of times they're portrayed as hard people, but when push comes to shove, when they need us to gather around them in prayer and lift them up in prayer, I'm inclined to do that, no matter who they are, no matter how hard they seem. It's different people that have passed, that I brought to YouTube. They've gone, into eternity, and they were hard, and, but when it comes to someone being vulnerable and sick and need you to encourage them, I'm down for that. I don't care how hard you think you are. I'm down for that. And I have compassion for everyone that I have brought to, have seen, and maybe not brought to YouTube, but the stories I have brought to YouTube, I may not like their lifestyle. I may not agree with their lifestyle. It's one very recently, I didn't agree with the lifestyle. But at times like that, when we lose people, or we have to pray for people for healing, you toss that to the wayside, and you put that on the back burner, and you say, you know what? When someone is ill, sick, or lost someone, they're in a different mind space. They're like I said, they're vulnerable. They vulnerable, and their heart is open for certain things, to hear certain things, to discount, and their heart is open to repentance, is what I'm trying to say. So guys, all of you who pray, if you're not used to praying, I'm not going to ask you, to do that. But if you would just open your heart and your compassion, and say a prayer for this family, because a lot of times I don't hear about people's sickness until they're gone. So I send my condolences for their family and friends. But now we have a chance to, kind of do something before, someone leaves this earth. We have a chance now that Beth is still with us, that she stay with us, and that her health is restored, that her cancer is just wiped out of her body. See, I believe in stuff like that. I believe in miracles because I've shared some miracles in my life, and God has spared my life on numerous occasions, guys. On numerous occasions. So I know that God can do it. I'm not trying to get all holy roly on you guys, but I'm just telling you what I've experienced, things like that, where God has miraculously saved me and healed me, and just a lot of things has happened through my life. Well, as we grow older, we experience things, and we see supernatural things, we hear of more supernatural things, and I'm praying that God intervenes and stop this horrible cancer in its tracks, and just pull um all that impurities out of Beth's body, and that God go tells Duane, now you said you was gonna stop smoking. Now stop. Now you said you was gonna stop cursing. So stop. And every now and then a word kind of slips out of my mouth or whatever else. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop that. And in certain words I don't really consider curse words. That's me. In certain words I know are definitely curse words, but a lot of words that people say that's a cuss word, it's like, I'm not really convinced on that, but that's just me. But whatever, it doesn't matter though. Whatever you feel is wrong, even if other people does not feel it's wrong, maybe it's just wrong for you not to do because you're feeling some kind of way. You're feeling convicted, and maybe other people just don't feel convicted. Whether it's wrong or not, they don't feel convicted. But evidently, Duane is feeling convicted on the things he mentioned he would stop doing. And especially with his wife starting out as throat cancer, and then it went to his lungs. That's a good thing he says he's going to try. And I pray that he's successful. And what he should say, instead of saying, I try, which is hard. I used to smoke, guys. I used to smoke. It's hard. It's an addiction that it has been compared to heroin. So it's not easy to stop smoking. But by the grace of God, I did. In fact, I asked God to take that taste from me. And I think I mentioned it in an old video, and maybe I'll bring it up again in another podcast. But anyway, guys, through all what we do, good, bad, or otherwise, when you know someone needs help, let's help him. And he's asking for something very simple. He's just asking for us to pray for his wife Beth, because he does not want her to go anywhere. That man loving on his wife, and I like to see stuff like that. It doesn't matter whether marriage is meant, for some people and they want to stay single. When someone finds a partner that they love and adore and encourage and support, I like to see stuff like that. I like to see couples, that love each other. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end this. Thank you for joining me. I just felt inclined to cover this story because anyone that I've kind of watched on TV, and then I hear that something has happened, there's, I feel compassion for them, whether, whatever the case is. I feel compassion for them. I never met people 600-pound life, and we've lost a few of those, and I feel compassion for them and their friends and family, no matter who they are. So guys, like I said, I'm going to end this. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell, and I will bring you another story. Hopefully some good news. Wouldn't that be fantastic if there was a miracle and they went back and they cannot find any cancer in Beth's body? Wouldn't that be something? Right now, she's in that coma-induced, medically-induced coma, and whatever the doctors are looking for to, I just hope, whatever answers, I hope a miraculous answer just pops into the doctor's head, and that God lead those doctors in their choices that they make, and and I just hope that the Lord just leads the family, Chapman family, into whatever direction is meant for them, whatever it is. And for all of our lives, for all of you listening, I hope that you succeed in whatever you're doing, that you enjoy it, that you're not in some job that you hate. And if you're in a bad marriage, that your marriage be restored. And it was like when you first met. I wish all this for everyone in the sound of my voice, that you receive many blessings and have happiness and peace. Thank you for joining. Good night.